Okay, let me find it. Let's start the meeting, electronic meeting by Zoom at 5:20. As the chair of the Water and Wastewater Commission, I find that due to the state of emergency declared by Governor Scott as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and pursuant to Addendum 6 to Executive Order 01-20 and Act 92, this public body is authorized to meet electronically. In accordance with Act 92, there is no physical location to observe and listen contemporaneously to this meeting. However, in accordance with the temporary amendments to the open meeting law, I confirm that we are providing public access to the meeting by telephone, video, or other electronic means, with additional access offered through telephone, video, or other electronic means. I guess all those really. We are using Zoom for this remote meeting. All members of the board of the commission have the ability to communicate contemporaneously during this meeting through this platform, and the public has access to contemporaneously listen and, if desired, participate in this meeting by stating their name and waiting to be recognized. Providing public notice of instructions for accessing the meeting. We previously gave notice to the public of the necessary information for accessing this meeting, including how to access the meeting using telephone, video, and other electronic means in our posted meeting agenda. Instructions have also been provided on the town website at, I don't know what it is, plainfieldvermont.us, I believe, something like that. Okay. Providing a mechanism for the public to alert the public body during the meeting if there are problems with access. If anybody has a problem, I don't know, Josh is our Zoom guy, so if anybody has a problem, I guess he will be seeing him and trying to help him get on. Continuing the meeting if necessary in the event the public is unable to access this meeting, it will be continued to a time and place certain. Please note that all votes taken during this meeting that are not unanimous will be done by roll call vote in accordance with the law. Let's start the meeting by taking a roll call attendance of all members participating in the meeting. So call off, people.
Carol Smith.
Okay, I'll say your name and you guys can say who you are. Okay, Josh.
Here.
Greg.
Yeah, I'm here.
I guess that's Carol.
Yeah.
Tim, I haven't seen you for a while. Tim.
Hi.
And Tristan.
Here.
Okay, and I'm Mary here. So, I guess that was taken care of. So now we can just do our meeting. I did not, does anybody have any additions or any changes to the agenda?
No.
Nope.
Okay. No, nobody?
No, I don't.
Okay. Okay. Review and adopt minutes. That was what I was trying to do, and partly why I was late. I was trying to print out the minutes, so I actually didn't get a chance to read them because my printer has been acting up. I finally got it to work, but I haven't read them. But I think, do you remember if this is one that I sent you? If I had any, I sent you. Oh, wait a minute. Was I here? Was I? Yeah, I was there. This is a long time ago.
It was a very long time ago.
It was, I guess I should say this. This is the meeting for, the minutes for the meeting on January 13, 2020. That's still the draft minutes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, I have those as a draft set of minutes here.
Yeah. Did anybody else read them carefully?
I did not.
Okay,
I read them, but not carefully.
okay. See anything when you read them?
Just checking over the part under clerk's report. Carol, do you have the minutes in front of you?
I do.
Is that amount that you moved, is that the correct amount?
32,620?
Yes. Yes. And then I did receive the other 11,000 from Efficiency Vermont, and that was also paid
Okay.
to, for the effluent rack. So that's all taken care of.
Yeah, that was the only thing that it's been so long that I just wanted to ask, but
I know.
I didn't see anything else in the minutes that was, that
Greg,
looked-
who did we buy
Well-
that from? Or Tristan?
Who did we buy what from?
We
The
got it
effluent
through
rack.
Champlin. We got it through Champlin, but I don't know the name of the account. Was it Pro
Thank you.
Screen maybe?
Okay, I just want to, now that you're saying that, I just want to verify because it's been so long.
There is something here that I guess it's okay. It just doesn't make sense to me, but it says it's under the clerk's financial report and the third paragraph. It says it looks like Goddard will be charged a higher rate of increase than the ratepayers in the upcoming budget. Josh went through things. What did Josh go
Oh,
through?
that was when you were trying to set what Goddard would be charged.
Is that what you mean by Josh went through things? Just like went over it?
Yeah,
Yes, that,
Okay.
That was it was thoroughly gone over that evening.
What, Carol?
Okay, I'm going to confirm that Champlin Associates was a total bill of $43,620. So yes, I did move $32,620 over from capital improvement and paid that immediately. And then when Efficiency Vermont sent the 11,000, I paid the remaining balance to Champlin for the. I just wanted to be sure that that was correct in several months.
Well, I'm going to say we haven't heard from JC, at least to my knowledge, we haven't. So I guess they're thinking things are okay over there as far as.
I believe, Mary, that piece of the discussion came from a fear that somebody was going to question what was going on when they reviewed the numbers in the town report,
right.
Yeah.
and nothing was ever said. And that Josh went through things was we went through again how those numbers were arrived at. is what that's
Exactly.
talking about. And
Yeah, okay.
there was a confusion coming from the incorrect rates that we set. The confusion is coming from the incorrect rates we set this year. I think that was supposed to mean we set
Right.
last year.
Yeah.
The
Right.
percent increase next year is the same for Goddard and the ratepayers. I think what I was trying to say is because we screwed up the
billing,
last year,
right.
that was why
Oh,
we
actually-
had a problem.
It was actually this year because we're still in this fiscal year. Is that,
Yeah, correct.
you set them in
This-
the last fiscal year?
Yeah,
Never mind.
the not the last budget session we had at the end, in December, or in January, but like the year previously, we
Yeah.
had made an error in setting the rates,
Exactly.
and so
Right.
that's why the rate increase for Goddard appeared to be more than the rate increase for.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
coming back.
do we want to amend the minutes to just like give some clarity to that discussion, or
I think if we change the phrase, if we make it clear that the confusion, this is what I now have it reading in a copy I'm looking at this end. It looks like Goddard will be charged a higher rate of increase than the ratepayers in the upcoming budget. Josh went through things. Perhaps we should elaborate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The confusion is coming from the incorrect rates we set last year. The percent increase next year is the same for Goddard and the ratepayers.
Yeah.
I think it is that phrasing is correct. Whether we want to add more verbiage for what Josh went through things means.
Instead of things, why don't you just put went through the numbers or went through the fiscal, something like that.
Josh went through the calculations again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works.
Mhm.
Okay, somebody want to move to make that change?
I will move that we amend the minutes as Tim suggested.
I guess I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Don't have to do a roll call. Okay, so I think I was reading through the rest of the minutes. They looked okay. Is somebody saying something I can't hear?
Oh, the scanner. Let me go shut it off.
Oh, okay.
Been quiet all day, now they start.
Okay. I think the rest of that looks fine. Okay, should we move to the next agenda item? Election of officials, or however, I didn't know how to say that, officers. What, you guys want to do this? Oh, I like your background this time. Oh, I'm going to play with those too. What, you guys have any suggestions? Any?
Nope.
Whatevers? We want to keep it like it is. We want to. Where do you get onto that? Where do you get onto those background things? On my phone, I could find it. I can't find it on this one.
It's next to the stop video button. If you hit the up arrow, it'll give you some options. You can add, and then you can add images.
Okay.
I figured this was appropriate for water-wastewater.
What you got on there?
You're in Japan.
It's the Great Wave by
Japanese artist.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, and then where do you find the? I'm on
You gotta-
virtual background. It says choose virtual background. It says none.
Yeah, you have to like load them up.
Okay. I won't do that now. Next time.
Next time. All right, the question was elect officers.
Do we want to keep them the way they are now? Do we want to change them? What do we want to do?
I'm okay with the way things are at the moment.
Yeah, I keep trying to give it up and it doesn't happen. I've resigned to the fact that I'm going to be chair for a while. I'm okay with it.
Do they have to nominate you or you just stay that way?
I really don't know.
I don't remember. Would you like
I
me
make
to?
a motion that we nominate Mary as the chair of the Water-Wastewater Commission.
I second that motion.
All in
Okay, there we
favor?
go.
Aye.
Aye.
You guys have it.
Is there a descending person? I only heard two.
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Well, in my email, it said we're going to do court jester and all that, but I guess we can just all be that. Okay. And Tim, you still want to take minutes?
I am at the moment.
Yeah. And will forever?
In all likelihood, so long as you serve as the chair, I will serve as the loyal secretary.
Okay.
Are
And
you folks able to see me? Because I'm not seeing me when I speak.
you are flashing in and out on mine, but I can see you right now.
In
You look a little Sasquatchy.
in the upper right, there is a speaker view. You can click, if you click speaker view, it'll show who it thinks is talking. Even though I'm talking right now, because there's some background noise on Carol's phone, it's showing Carol's phone diagram.
Oh, sorry.
But
Right,
if you
that's-
see,
That's what keeps happening to me is I keep seeing Carol's phone.
but then there's an option. If you hit the next to the full screen icon in the upper right of the black field, there's a Brady Bunch box. If you hit that, it'll show all of the people in one screen.
Got it. I just hit it, so now I can see everybody.
Yep.
Thank you.
I can see everybody, but all of a sudden all my stuff went away. Do I click on my name? My picture to get it back?
What went away?
Well, when I tried to do the video, the background, when I
Move your
on,
mouse to the bottom of the screen, Mary.
oh, okay, thanks.
Yep.
Yep, came back. That's
How
very
do I mute?
than
'Cause
using my phone.
I was working on some water sewer stuff. How do I mute so you don't hear my papers?
I don't think you can't mute yourself if you call in. I can mute you.
Oh, okay.
And we can't.
Well, if
see
it gets to
so
be
it's not like
if it
you
gets
can
to be
read it.
bothersome, just mute me. I was digging through wastewater papers.
It's
Yeah,
not bothersome to me. Now I understand what's going on. I just thought for some reason my video wasn't working and you folks couldn't even see
Okay.
me. We're good.
Nope.
Because then if you wanted to say something, there'd be no way we'd know
Right.
How
Oh,
to
okay.
unmute you because we
Alright.
can't see you.
Right.
Try to move my papers more quietly.
Okay. Well, we are on your clerk's financial report. And I'm going to say that the reason I put all that under Carol's, it could have actually been separate agenda items, but I needed room for all this Zoom stuff.
Right.
So I made the font as little as I thought I could. So anyway, that's why it's under Carol's, but it kind of does go into her thing anyway. So do you have anything to say, Carol?
Well, things are going along better than expected with as far as collecting the wastewater. Although I'm noticing that people that usually pay early haven't paid yet, but I suspect they will. It's due a week from today. So since we're on that subject, I do have two people that would like us to postpone the due date. And I wondered what everybody's thoughts on that were. But I also don't want to encourage people that genuinely can pay now to not pay now. So I don't know how to address this on a case-by-case basis or
Well,
what to do.
one thought is we can vote to do it if we want to. We don't have
Okay.
to announce it. If anybody reads the minutes or watches this, then they'd know.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to move it back too far.
And remind me what the penalty is for late payment.
It's 8%
Well,
from George and 1% from us.
a total of 9%. And one of the people, she isn't worried about paying the 9%. She mainly has never, ever paid a bill late. Not a dog license, not a tax, not a water, not a sewer. And she does not want to be late. And so that's why she asked.
Did she say when she could get it in?
Well, of course, this was quite a few weeks ago, but she and I had talked about that we may perhaps would extend it to, because of the fiscal year ending, I believe it was June 3rd. What is the first Wednesday in June? That June 3rd?
Oh, I do have a calendar.
I had this in my email, and
Yeah, June 3rd is the
Yeah.
first Wednesday.
yes, so it was to postpone it to Wednesday, June 3rd, so that I would still have time to process any that came in and then get George his list, and he could begin collecting before the fiscal year ended.
And I'm sorry, Carol, why did you want to go all the way out to June instead of sometime in April? I mean, May?
Well, I guess it was to give people a chance to get their money, but now people are getting their money, so I guess it doesn't need to go out that far anymore.
Well, some people are getting their money. Not everybody is, but
Right.
right. And like Tim's question in the email was, what's our fiscal situation right now?
It's coming in pretty well. I won't honestly really know until, I'm expecting a bunch will come Friday, so I'll know Saturday.
And just to clarify, we're talking about wastewater payment, correct?
Yes, wastewater.
Yeah.
And of course, a few, go ahead.
When is the water due again?
Water won't be due until at least August. The water billing will not end until June 30th. The boys will go out and read the meters, and then that will be due August.
I think that what I would suggest, and Tim and Mary, like, I don't know, there may be we may be somewhat limited, but what I would suggest is suspending any penalties for late payment until.
I'm not allowed to do that, unfortunately.
That's why we have to move the date. We can't.
Yes. And that
Okay.
is a good idea. And then it turns out that we're not allowed to do that.
So we're not allowed to suspend penalties across the board because is that in the
It's a delinquent tax collector. It would have to be voted to change the way things are done.
Do you guys remember hearing anything during this COVID thing about that delinquent tax people, I mean, they could not collect or turn people off? Maybe it was just they couldn't turn people off.
It was just they couldn't turn off water service while this is going on.
Okay.
Right.
But they can still charge them. Okay.
There, I believe what I had read in an email, there was actually, and that's what we were talking about, Mary, that I wish I could find it, but there was a delinquent tax collector somewhere that had decided they weren't going to charge the penalty. And other delinquent tax collectors have put off tax sales during this time. So George could choose to not charge the 8%, but he's not choosing to do that.
Right. Well, if it's not a hassle to you, Carol, And
Yeah.
if it's not a hassle to our budget, I'm okay with moving it up to June, whenever you said that was. I mean,
Or
May,
even if we,
June?
even if we,
June.
yeah, we could make it, you know, May. I mean, you're the commission.
Well, we're the commission, but you're the one that tells us if you have money to cover things.
Right. Well, it's not that many weeks, so long as it comes in. I mean, if it doesn't, it might not even come in June. I don't, it's hard for me to know what's going on.
If we moved it up to, let's say, May 20th, I don't know why, if you want to keep it on a Wednesday, that's a
Yeah,
Wednesday.
we always do stuff on a Wednesday.
Yeah. We could do May 20th. That would give people 2 extra weeks.
Yep. That might be a better thing because I also, in the end, I do have to still turn it over to George. And if I turn it over to him in June, it is going to get kind of complicated with the end of the fiscal year stuff with him. Because he can only turn into up to a certain week, and then we have to be able to pay him out. So that might be a better choice all the way around.
So does anybody want to entertain a motion that we move the, what's the word? The deadline?
The due date of the assessment.
Thanks. The due date of the wastewater assessment to May 20th at 4 o'clock.
I'll make a motion that we move the wastewater assessment due date to May 20th at 4 o'clock.
I will second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Is there another aye?
Aye.
Okay. I
You
know.
made the motion in the first place. I think the aye was a little understood, but you're being correct.
Well, it is, but you know, it says here that everybody has to say aye, whatever.
Run candid camera.
So do I reach out to the individuals that requested this, or I think that I do perhaps have to make at least an announcement that we've postponed it, or I do not?
I don't really think you have to make an announcement, but I would reach out to the people that asked.
Yeah, it's in the, I mean, it's going to be in our minutes.
That's true.
Like, and I would reply to anyone who's inquired,
Right.
you know, and
And-
say like, this is the new date.
Yeah.
And then, you know, but, you know, we do want, you know, if, you know, we do want to have people still give us money if they have
Yes.
money. So we kind of don't want to like we don't want to create a scenario where we widely publicize like don't pay. Like it's like no, really, like everybody pay unless they have an issue. But we did
Exactly.
You know, the purpose of moving the deadline is to prevent penalties right now
Right.
from being, you know, that's the intent.
And I am noticing that lots of businesses, landlords, whatever, are saying to people, if you're still getting paid, please pay me. It has become a little bit of an issue. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
What's the next one? Oh, the grease plug.
Yeah. So that, Greg and Tristan, that was the grease plug that we paid Monash $1,100 for. It happened back in January.
Yes.
And you talked to Sam and Willie over at Maplefield.
I spoke to Sam, and she was going to relay the message to Willie. We
Okay,
have not done anything about forwarding any kind of bill,
okay,
but, but I did tell her that we would more than likely be sending the bill to them because the grease plug did originate there.
okay. So I'm looking for permission from the commission to bill RL Valley for the Maplefield location in Marshfield, $1,100 for a grease plug up in January.
And I'm sorry, Greg, did you say that you talked to people over there and so they're kind of expecting this?
Yes, I mean, the idea that we've not really kind of followed up with it at all, but because of the pandemic, I think we probably get some leeway. And I am not sure that we're not going to get pushback, just so you know, because
Right.
I know that before when I talked to Willie, I talked to him about the way they have their dishwasher set up. And I suggested that they not do that. And he said that the person that installed it, the people that said it's put in correctly, but I expect that once we give them the bill for the grease plugs, he's probably going to come back with some questions. So we just need to be ready for that, just so you know.
So who would be answering those questions? Because you know who's going to get the phone call once I send the bill. Me, myself.
Right, we'll forward it right down to the plant, and one of us will, basically give them the information. I mean, I've already talked to them about the grease being liquefied and being sent into the system. It's not new information.
Okay.
So, okay.
All right. Okay.
And I guess if there's any further problems after they've talked with Greg or Tristan, or Greg and Tristan, then they can come to a meeting.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have to, or did we already? I'm tired. Did we vote on that? Do we have to vote on that?
I doubt we need to do a formal vote. All three of us are in agreement that this should be done.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is kind of like a carryover from when we were gonna meet and then didn't.
Yeah.
So, okay. Next on the agenda is Chief Facility Operators Report. Unless, are you done?
Okay.
Well, this will probably come under Greg, and I don't know if Greg and Tristan probably want to wait on this. I had a note, and it was on the agenda for when we were last supposed to meet about the units at Positive Pie Restaurant / apartments. But I think with them being closed right now due to the pandemic, we can probably not discuss that. And of course, poor Betsy Blackshaw was supposed to come in March and discuss her issue. And I don't know if Greg or Tristan wanted to reach out to her and at least talk to her. And maybe she'd like to join by Zoom at the next meeting. And with that, I am all done.
Okay. Have you talked to her, Betsy, or any of the other people over there?
No, we have not, and I guess we probably should, just to find out what they're thinking at the very least. It would be our best interest to know, and I don't expect anything to be started and any project to be started in the near future, but it'd be a good idea just to know what's going on.
Do you guys want to reach out to her?
Yes, we will. I got her phone number here somewhere, so I can try and call her and catch up with her.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Do you know, where does she work? Is she an essential or would she be home?
I think she probably works from home right now. I'm not sure. She's an attorney, so I'm thinking she probably is working from home.
Oh, she is? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Well, I
Yeah.
know Jolie works for, I don't know where she works. I know she works for herself and paints a lot, and Jody works in a well, for home health, I think, in a nursing home or something. So she's probably working, but Betsy would be a good one to
Came on that.
contact, yes. Okay, so Chief Facilities report.
Well, I'm not sure
Report.
what I should be reporting, but we have some issues that are going to need to be addressed in the coming months, and I just want to make sure that everybody's on board with it. We've got a UV system that having a malfunction with one of the wiping systems is causing the compressor to run a lot more than it could. The price that I got for just that one piston and a few other things to go with it's about $2,000, and I need, about $2,000. And so I'm looking probably if we were to really go crazy and do something, we'd probably spend over $10,000 by buying enough for all of them. So I don't want to screw around and scare everybody, but I think that we need to kind of remember that these are over 20 years old and they're going to need some work. And this one, if I just get the one, it's $2,000. So that's one of the issues that we've got going on. And one of the other things that we wanted to make sure that we try and get going is we really would like to do the Brook Road water line if we possibly can. Tristan's already talked to them. They're trying to get together with the pavers to make sure that we can get it done. And also that we want to do some manholes at the same time if possible. So again, that's still on the board. The other thing that is going on that I think that that we need to talk about in the near future is our water policy, because we need to actually change the numbers for how much we charge per 1,000 gallons of overage for water, and also for our service fees for floss plates and things like that.
Yeah,
And
well,
so,
we did the ordinances and kind of
right.
got a pandemic in our way. So yeah, that's
Right.
something that should be
Yeah.
worked on.
So I don't want it to get pushed off the screen. I just want to make sure it stays on the radar. The other thing that we do want to talk about as part of that is I mean, there's a portion of that policy to water when we have George send out notices and pink slips, and so he's not following the directive correctly, and we need to see if we can address that at the same time. So I just want to put that out there for everybody to kind of think about, because we do need to make sure we do it right.
What's he
And
doing that's not right?
well, it's the way that he is, the letter he's sending out to people to let them know that they're delinquent, is the form is not correct, and he's not following the form the way it should be presented. As he's using the tax collector's form, and that's not correct to be using for the water-wastewater system.
Right.
So
And when he was doing mine, he didn't even take off what I had paid. And it was
Right.
very confusing on that form.
Yeah. So again, we need to address that at some point to make sure that, I mean, we don't need to cause problems with our customers. We need to, make sure that everybody knows what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just something that we need to think about, something that it's something that hasn't been done for a long, long time, but we need to address it. So just something for you guys to scratch your head about.
Yeah.
And we'll try to put together something that kind of looks right so that you guys can understand it. and present it so that we can actually get George in and let him sit down and explain whether he's going to be able to do this or not.
Are you forgetting that we have been trying forever to get him?
I understand that, but and that's the other thing that we need to address. I mean, either he's going to do it correctly, or we're going to have to find another way to do it.
Mhm.
So, you know, and that's the other part of the issue, and that's still the other part of the issue. So, anyway, those are my hot points. I don't remember having anything else going on. I know that Tristan is doing the majority of the work at the plant. I'm doing the weekends and whatever days you can't. I'm also trying to get over and flush out that hydrant and, you know, do any of the other little things that are outside the plant that I can do. The other thing that I did order was masks. They should be here by Friday. And I'm not sure how we're going to address this going forward, but I do know that we've got a full boat of stuff that's got to get done, and it's not going to stop. So,
You guys
yeah,
see that article I sent to you guys about that they're finding, not that I'm saying it's a dangerous thing, I guess, but that they're finding, well, that Switzerland town, they found the evidence, what did they say, the RNA or something in the feces of the town, the sewage of the town, and nobody in town had tested for it yet. And so they thought it could be like a precursor or a test. And I'm like, oh boy, you guys are going to get to be tested for that now.
Well, if it weren't for the fact that they want $150 to run the test, I think we should do it. But the problem is that they want $150 for us to run the test.
Yeah.
And you know,
I really didn't think it was going to happen, but
I did, Greg, just also side note, I talked to Mike Maynor, I think his name is, from A&E. They're starting back up again. So whenever we kind of start working in the plant again to finish up doing the flow testing and various things for the 20-year assessment, we can get on the calendar as soon as we can.
that was my question, was a 20-year thing.
Yeah.
Well, one of my questions.
Yeah, he's worried the calendars start filling up. So as soon as we're sort of both there or have a chance, we can get a hold of him and get on the agenda for them.
Are you two able to stay 6 feet apart?
Well, the thing that's going to happen is, because it's going to be for part of it, it's going to be a nighttime exercise, and Tristan is going to do the nighttime part, and I will do the daytime part at the plant. Okay, that'll take care of one. But the other part of it is that A&E and he will also have to maintain that 6-foot boundary, and they're probably going to have to wear gear and all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah.
But you know, so
yeah, and he said normally they'd send out 3 people, but they can restrict it down to just a couple, and we'd have to keep distance and do all that sort of thing. But we could do it. We might have to work out some of the logistics, because I mean, I'd be out in the field with them anyway. So if you did the plant stuff and I was just out in the field, that'd keep us apart. And then if they did we did whatever in the field to keep us all safe, that would work too. But we'll have to figure out logistics. And part of it, since we're doing flow testing, we'll have to make sure it's at a rainy period when the plant flows are still high enough to show infiltration.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a question about that grit channel thing. Is it working? Did you figure out why it wasn't working in the cold? Or did they figure out?
Because it freezes.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
Well, there's a bunch of water running through it, and when water gets really cold, it freezes, and that stops the track running. They put a new blanket on it that worked a little bit. Then they got a new blanket after that because that one didn't work well enough. And we didn't get any really, really cold days since we've had the newest blanket, but we haven't had any issues either since we've had the newest one.
Okay.
Good.
I'm kind of afraid that, it's not that cold, and when we go into next year, any warranty that we could have is going to be gone. Is there a warranty that would stretch into next winter?
Well, I'm not exactly sure, but the other thing that I forgot to ask and is, should we unplug it now because it's not dropping down that cold, and because it's still plugged in, it's still heating up. But
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. We should probably talk to Champlin about that and about trying to do some wiring at some point soon to get a couple new pumps wired in for the phosphorus removal thing, because we want that hardwired instead of the way we're doing it. So we got a few things to talk to Champlin about anyway.
Yeah, I forgot about those. Yeah, okay.
Weren't you going to talk to that guy, or at least where he worked, the one that caused all the problems during the meters? Was there something you were going to talk to them about? I can't think of what they're.
Are you talking about A.Y. McDonald?
Maybe.
They're the ones. They're the ones who sold us the equipment that keeps failing that we have problems with.
Yeah.
And E.J. Prescott has hired.
That's who I was thinking of. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah. E.J. Prescott has hired Rob McLaren, who used to work for, I can't remember, Ferguson, but he's working for him, and he's supposed to be looking into that, and he's supposed to be getting back to us. I don't remember if he's actually given us any solid information on that, but I know we had this discussion with him just before we stopped coming into work together at the plant. So he was in February.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten back to us again. And and he didn't expect, and I don't expect that we'll actually get anywhere with this anyway.
No.
My pressure, by the way, is bad. I didn't notice it before so much because I was just here by myself, but now that George is on the other side, I can tell.
Yeah, because we've got another 200 to replace. We've only done 40 so far.
I know.
Yeah.
That was just not a fun experience.
No.
Ugh.
And we
have plenty of work to do.
We had to pay a plumber to fix one, didn't we, guys?
Yes. And what I would like for you to do, though, is I'd like you to hold that bill out at some point in time.
Okay.
I would like to hand that to Rob and have him, kind
Okay.
of review that. I don't know, it won't make come of anything probably, but I still would like to present it to him because this is part of the project.
I just pulled it out and added it to my pile. And don't worry, I have a note about overage. It hasn't been forgotten.
All right. So, all right.
I got your. All right.
The other thing we need to start working on at some point is rate restructure.
Yes.
Yes.
That was one of our things in the, whatever that other thing we did, we just finished.
And overage will go along with that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do have a spreadsheet on my computer that I haven't emailed yet because I didn't think we were quite ready to get onto the rate restructure, but I have all of the meter readings by address compiled on a spreadsheet. So you can look at what all the averages are and what the usage was for any particular time. So I can forward that on whenever we think we're actually going to look at it and do something with it.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we should wait for too much longer because you guys are going to start getting busy in the summer.
Yes.
Not that
we
you're
got meter
busy
readings
anyway,
coming up next month, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tristan, if you have that, go ahead and forward it to me. I've got about, I'm furloughed half time, so I've got a little more bandwidth to work on these things.
Okay, I'll send it after this meeting so we all have it while I'm thinking about it.
Cool. Sounds good. Okay, is that all for you guys?
I believe so for now.
Okay. What are we going to do now? Discuss method to approve warrants during COVID-19 something. Oh, pandemic.
Yes.
So Carol and I were talking about it, and one of the things she suggested was that we like do what we did with all of us approve it by email, and then one person goes in and signs each week, which I'm fine to do that if you want me to. I mean, I'm the closest.
The reason I've been having Mary come over and sign it is because I have things that I'm submitting for the 20-year evaluation that are supposed to be signed by Mary. And then Greg and Tristan usually have paperwork for Mary to sign. So she's been doing one-stop shopping, so to speak, and that works well. And I'll just go
I don't
back to
go
what
in, I stand on the porch.
Yes, she stands on the porch, sorry.
I wear my mask.
She wears her mask, and I have a folder that I recycled from the post office that says Mary on it.
Yeah. So is
But I
that
would
okay
like
with
to
you
have
guys?
Go ahead.
Is that okay with Tim and Josh?
Yes, I'm fine with it.
It's fine with me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, approve warrants.
Did you see all of them? Good Lord. All the dates.
Yeah, how do we want to do that? Do we want to do that now and just go through the dates and approve them, or what do you want to do?
I admit I had not read through them. I entirely forgot that we got that email.
I did too, so
So,
you're not alone.
so I don't remember what I said in my email, but up through, I believe it was 3/10/2020, they were all signed in person. And then we shut things down. There was 1 week when I emailed them to everyone and you approved those. And then what I did was I just ran off a couple of quick reports and emailed those all to you. They have all been signed at least by Mary in person on the porch, or actually in the parking lot the other day. And then I put the dates all on here like I usually do for Tim for the minutes.
Pregnant pause.
Do you want to go back and look at your email for the additional ones?
So what was the date that you sent out the that last group of minutes?
Oh, it would have
Yesterday.
been yesterday.
Right. So yesterday. Warrants. Let's see.
It looks like one big warrant, but it's so you could go down through and see everybody that I paid since you last saw them in person.
Okay, so you said you sent all of the warrants? I'm not seeing that.
It should be attached. Did it not attach?
Yeah,
Maybe I
it came
didn't-
through at 8:20, at least to me, it came through at 8:28 a.m. yesterday. Or is that today?
That was today. So like,
I see them. It's oh, wait a minute.
so it's just the, oh, there it is. Okay, it's in the other.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
All right, my
I
bad.
realized, yeah.
Right, I got the, yep. Oops, now I've done something terrible. Okay,
There it is. Yeah, just go down. You'll see all the payroll, and then It starts with the date of 3/3/10 and keeps going down through 4/25. Got water, accounts payable, wastewater payroll, wastewater account payable again.
Yep. Okay.
So you could look at each thing that I paid. If you rather wait on those so you have a better chance to study it.
No, I'm looking at it here. Everything looks good to me.
It's weird. I had it. I said it was at 8 something and now it's gone away.
Oh, it was,
Oh, there it is.
well, I attached my correction, which I think made it look confusing
Yeah. Yeah. The correction was
this morning.
But they're still there at the bottom of the
right.
one from this morning.
Oh, the list of dates is there this morning, Mary. If you're looking for the actual what I paid, it's in the email at the top part of it in the email I sent yesterday. Do you want me to shoot it over again really quick right now?
Well, I've got warrants, approved payroll and payable warrants from the following dates. And there's a whole bunch of them.
Oh, good, you can see that. Yes, and that list had last month's meeting date on it. That's why I sent the correction this morning, because it was sitting right in front of me on my desk and I realized.
Yeah, what I'm looking at was at the bottom of the correction one, but not of the bottom. You know how when you sent it on that thread?
Yeah.
That's at the bottom
Yeah.
of that thread. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Right, that's what made it confusing. I should have sent it separately.
I am not very good about not touching my face. Well, I think what we could do is just look at them and say we approve them, those dates.
Right, and then from here out, we'll go back to for instance, I've done payroll this week, obviously, so probably Saturday, I'll scan it on over to everyone and maybe Mary will pop by outside and sign it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just found the set of the attachments and stuff in my account and just read them, and I would sign, if I was in the office, I would sign them at this moment. I have no questions about them. I'm comfortable with them.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Just the one thing, Carol, for like attachments.
Yeah,
So like the PDF for the minutes is, the file name. It's SKM_308E, blah blah blah.
right. Oh, I should change that.
Yeah, if you can, like, for like attachments like minutes and stuff, like
Okay,
it'll just be a little more like for the
Easier.
PDFs that you scan, you can like rename them
Yeah.
before you forward them.
okay. I will do that. Yeah, that's our fancy new scanning thing on our copier. Okay, so oh yeah, I can just rename it. Okay, I will do that.
You guys both use Google. This is off that subject, but you guys both use Google Docs, right? Or Google Drive.
Yes.
Did it change recently?
Not on my computer.
Huh.
About 5 or 6 weeks ago, there was a change. The look of it changed, but boy, it was a few months ago. I had to deal with it when it changed on my parents, who didn't.
Well,
they threw
know,
them a little bit.
I hardly ever use my computer because it's so slow. I mean, it's from, well, as you know, 2011. But I decided to use it for some reason to do the minutes the agenda this time. And as you know, what happened? Something happened where I couldn't send them out, but I finally figured out what to do. It came through for the Gmail, which I never use. So what I'm doing is I'm sending them to me and then sending them to you. It's a little tedious, but whatever. Seems to work. But yeah, I don't know why it did that. I used to always just be able to, export it, and it would say, what format do you want it? And I'd say whatever, and it would go out as my regular email. But then there's this message on my charter email that says something about if you have Gmail and other email accounts attached to this, on May 1st, they will disappear. So it could be Charter that's doing it, but whoever, I think I figured it out.
I don't know, Mary, you should be able in Google Docs to go to a document, and under the file header, if you've opened the document to read it, there should be a download option that allows you to basically download the document and pick the format, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And that just puts it onto your computer.
Yep.
And then you should be able to go to your was it Dancing Dingo or whatever your email account is.
Well, it's Mary Lee Lane at charter.net.
Should be able to go
Thing.
there,
The
send
Dancing
an
Dingo's
email, and attach that exported file to it. That's not what we got. I mean, what we got looked like you had gone into Gmail and sent it from your Gmail account. That's what I received.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
though. I did just what you're saying. I did, because that's what I always do. I download it and then usually keep it in turning to, because, well, the other thing that was happening is I was putting it into DocX or whatever. And it,
Mary, I know that's what you think you did. I've
No,
been
I know
around
you
enough
do.
people. I have a strong suspicion that you actually were in Gmail and sent that you crossed the wire. You're in the wrong program.
maybe I was in Google Docs. I went to Google Docs. I, did down whatever, and it said export, and then it said, well, here's what happened. It said export, and then like it usually does, and then I put docx or whatever that is, and then it went into pages, which I know you guys, most of you can't get pages. And so I was trying to figure out why it was doing that. So I tried it again. It did the same thing. So then I went into Drive to see if it would do something different in Drive. So I could have ended up in Gmail somehow, but it wouldn't do it from jump. But like I said, as long as I email it to myself in, well, the Mary Lee Lane one, and then send it to you guys, it seems to work. I don't know.
And the other option, you generate in Google Docs, you can share the document,
Right.
which would allow us to view and see it just by clicking on a link.
Yeah.
Different than an attachment.
Yeah.
If you hit share, it will send an email out to the people you're sharing it with.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought you were doing.
No, but I think I did that once and it didn't work. But that, yeah, I don't know.
If you hit share, you think it didn't work, maybe it did work. Because that's why I replied to your share email, because the Gmail and Google Docs generates a specific type of a specific email format for when you just hit the share button. So yeah, if you did that and thought it didn't work, I think that it actually worked because it shared
know.
through the
That was
Google.
a long time ago, not now, when it didn't work.
Oh, okay.
When I first started, when Tim first, I don't even remember why. For some reason, Tim guided me to Google Docs for some reason, and it was working fine. But I tried to do share way back then, and it didn't come through. It came through as pages or something. It came through anyway. People weren't getting it, or were getting something they couldn't read. But I don't know. I'm not all that. I mean, I'm a little computer literate, but I wouldn't say I'm great at it. And especially this computer, because I haven't been using it. I've just been using my phone. So anyway, I was just curious. So does anybody have anything for other business?
No, I do not.
I don't either.
No, although I do have one quick thing with that, with the meter readings that I'm gonna send, Carol, if you can take a quick look at it, there's a note, but I highlighted a couple of addresses on
Okay,
on the printouts I have. I think I got them right, but there's a while that a couple of the Main Street Maple Hill addresses switched, and one of them was called Big Double
oh,
Wide.
yeah,
And I'm not positive I got the addresses right when they switched
Okay.
over across.
yeah,
They should be highlighted. If you just glance at those 3 or 4,
sure,
make sure
Okay.
those ones are correct when I send out that email.
yes, I will.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll do it Saturday.
Okay, perfect.
So I guess I have a question about coming up with another meeting. You know, the select board said we could meet, but then Sasha called it a special meeting. Does that mean
Yeah,
we're not able to have regular meetings now? Do we have to say our next meeting is a special meeting of some kind?
are they calling their, go ahead.
They're having all kinds of special and not special meetings.
I
It's true.
know.
The, I don't see any reason why this meeting was needed to be special, was special, or was defined as special.
We're all special.
Not me.
Well,
And like I don't understand why it would be considered that way. You know, for the, you know, the only reason it would be a special meeting is if we, you know, unless there's some, you know, some reason dictated that under the open meetings law amendment that meetings have to be defined as special, which I don't know if
no,
I
I
don't
read
think
through
they
it.
do.
No, I read through it.
I wouldn't say that we would have to have a special meeting. I think maybe that confusion was partly due to the fact that like we had some things that we needed to cover, and we had talked about a Wednesday, right?
Yep.
And so Sasha set up the Zoom account,
Mhm.
and we had this back and forth about like Wednesday the 22nd, and I was like, no, Carol and everybody, we said the 29th. So then I had to like change that meeting and like set up this meeting for this time. So I think it was only special because it didn't meet the like reporting criteria that we would normally have.
Well, I'm going to assume that we can set up our own meetings whenever we want to, and then we will no longer have a commission.
It's fine with me.
So,
I mean, use it or lose it, right?
yeah, exactly. So, when do you want to meet? In a month? Do we need to meet any sooner than that?
Carol, what is this was in an email like Greg sent. What is the regular meeting date? You
It's
said
usually-
third
It's
Third
usually
Monday?
the third Monday, yeah.
So the third Monday in May.
18th.
Yeah, I would say that's fine with me.
Okay.
You know, I want to say something about these Zoom meetings. Are you finding them to be okay, Josh?
Yeah, I haven't had any trouble, you know, like with them. I had one today and one on Friday. Actually, I had one on Friday that I did on my phone with the app, and I actually just and I was driving a truck while I was at that meeting, so
Okay.
turn the camera off, turn the you know mute the mic, and like I was able to, it was not that I had to be engaged in, but like it didn't seem to like affect my ability to listen to what everyone was saying.
Yeah.
I certainly didn't have any trouble like getting into the meeting.
Yeah. Well, part of why I'm asking is I think even after we go back to being regular again, Zoom would be good for me sometimes because there's sometimes even walking across the street's hard. So do you think it's possible that we could do Zoom for just, well, I mean, I guess that means we'd all have to do it if I wanted to do it, or we'd do FaceTime, I suppose.
It depends on the how they amended the open meeting law or what
Yeah.
constraints they
Well,
placed on it in terms of time. But and I haven't really looked at that, but I I wouldn't have any trouble with it.
yeah.
You know,
Well, if
Well, I don't think the open meeting law would matter because you guys, if say that happened and we could meet again at the office and you guys were meeting, anybody could come in and attend that meeting. But I'm saying if sometimes like the other night I could hardly walk, but I could go into the select board meeting because I didn't have to. That's why I didn't put my camera on because I was laying in bed.
kind of the same as when if someone calls in a conference call. I mean, they've done that at meetings. If everyone else shows up and someone just got a laptop that you can call in on,
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean,
yeah, I just don't know like if there was a particular how they had placed if they had placed any limitations.
If we did something like that, I don't think it would be through the town Zoom. I think it would just be me, but really FaceTime would work just as well, I guess. So
Yeah.
Right.
conference
And
call.
if, even if like we were, say before we had this like Zoom set up, if you called in and everybody else was in person, like if Tim and I were in the same place and we would have quorum anyway. And
Right.
if you just had to like, and you wanted to like FaceTime in,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a problem for me. The only the only particulars around virtual meetings I think that might be an issue would be like in cases where like we have to go look at something from 1991 that's in a file and Carol has it and
Right.
but
Well,
which
could scan it.
yeah, it comes up but it doesn't come up that often.
Yeah. Okay. I was just curious about Zoom, but then I realized it probably would be just as easy to call or to do FaceTime.
I just say you just would call in.
Yeah.
It would work
I
as
mean,
well.
I've done that before, so. But
Yeah.
Zoom's just kind of cool because you can do things. Do things. I need to go to bed. Okay, so when did we say we're going to have this meeting?
I would say yes, May 18th at 5:15 p.m. I assume we'll do it via Zoom again, unless something
Yeah.
changes, but that's close enough to say I'm guessing it's a Zoom meeting.
Yeah. I think we're right. May 18th. Okay, so unless anybody has anything else that they want to talk about, it is now 6:33, and
They're certainly shorter.
yeah. Well, we also didn't have quite as much as we could have, I guess. But yeah, it does make it shorter. But, okay, once again, well, I'll figure it out. I'm
May
fading fast and I want to go eat my Taco Bell.
Okay.
Yeah, so see you guys on the 18th.
All right.
Meeting
Have a
is
good evening, everybody. Take care.
adjourned.
Adjourn. That's the word I'm looking for.
Okay,
You say what?
bye-bye.